Howdy everybody, this is Hawkwind. Today we're going to be taking a look at and doing our initial recording for XCom. Now this is not the XCom 2 that just got released a couple of weeks ago that most of you have probably already gotten thoroughly addicted to. No, this is XCom Enemy Within from about 3 or 4 years back. However, a bunch of folks over at Nexus Mods decided that they were going to make XCom Enemy Within just a little bit more complicated. They created a mod called The Long War. It was so successful that one of the developers for XCom Enemy Within came out in a magazine interview and stated that XCom Enemy Within was basically a 20-hour tutorial teaching you how to play XCom Long War. I've spent a couple of hours going through some of the initial missions of Long War. It's been pretty overwhelming, quite honestly. There are now 8 character classes, whereas there were 4 previously. The aliens are now invading and taking over a country within your first month. They are setting up their own base within that country where they are going to begin doing their own research and development. The real premise here is that the aliens are actually a lot smarter. They are a lot more threatening. Their squads use artificial intelligence a heck of a lot better. And basically it's going to turn what previously was a relatively challenging game into something that will last for marathon length. As I had stated in my blog a couple days ago, going through the first few missions, the first few hours, I really felt this compulsion that I was doing it wrong. I needed to be doing this in a more unforgiving manner. So what I have decided to do here is we're going to start an entirely new Long War campaign, except what we're going to do is we will go with normal difficulty simply because I've never defeated the game in any difficulty yet. We're going to go to advanced options and we are going to select Iron Man. This gives us one constantly updating save. Any mistake I make, I have to live with it. If I get troops killed, then I have to replace them with fresh troops. There will be no save scumming, as the term is used. It is entirely going to be up to me to make good decisions. We'll go ahead and start the game. Excuse me, one other thing we're going to do. We're going to click on the Reduce Beginner Voiceover. I just get thoroughly sick of Dr. Fallen constantly telling us that we should not be blowing up aliens, we should be getting our guys killed so that she has something to study. Drives me crazy, so we're going to go ahead and turn it off. And with that, we will be starting the game.
In light of the recent extraterrestrial incursion, This Council of Nations has convened to approve the activation of the XCom project. You have been chosen to lead this initiative, to oversee our first and last line of defense. Your efforts will have considerable influence on this planet's future. We urge you to keep that in mind as you proceed. Good luck, Commander.
Didn't you just feel awful for the poor guy in the Chuck Taylor high tops getting sucked into that alien drone? I know I did. Now, previously you were able to get bonuses based on what continent you were on, and pretty much that was it. Here in Long War, they have actually added bonuses for each country out of the 16 countries that are available. Some countries, like here, Canada, China, have multiple bonuses available. I actually have looked over a lot of them, and I think rather than doing the typical start in the United States, I am probably going to go with Russia. The reason that I'm going to go with Russia is I really like this Sukhoi company. You get an enhanced avionics foundry project to start off, and you get the ever so important plus 10 to hit during air combat. Air combat is going to be huge early on, as we will show you. You will start with 4 interceptors rather than the normal 2, and they are going to get beaten to heck. Air combat has changed dramatically. It's changed so dramatically that you can actually now name your interceptors, the pilots in your interceptors, and they will start gaining experience just like your troops do. Also, once we have full satellite coverage over I believe Russia counts as Asia. Hang on, nope, it counts as Europe. Over Europe, you're going to get the monthly XCom funding increased by 20%. Money is going to be tight, so that is also valuable.
Our target site is near the German border. We've picked up a local broadcast indicating alien activity within a major metropolitan area. We should get down there and eliminate any hostiles.
We'll launch the mission. Now, when I used to play this in the pre-Long War version, you used to start off with
Strike
4
one.
guys.
This is Central. You are free to engage all hostile contacts in the AO. Don't take any chances.
Rather than the 6 you see here, I used to divide guys up into 2-man fire teams. I would send 2 guys off in one direction, 2 guys off in another direction, and use them to kind of mutually support one another. I have found during my few previous hours of exploring Long War that gets these poor rookies killed. You actually end up having to use all 6 of them pretty much together. And volume of fire becomes super, super important because the aliens are a heck of a lot more accurate than you are. That being the case, we'll take a look around at what we have here. A lot of cars for cover. So I think what we will do is we will try to... I'm very hesitant to send this guy out up to this car just in case everybody else can't follow him. If that leaves him exposed, he is going to get picked off. The bridge that we're on here is nice because it does really narrow the field from which the aliens can be coming in. They have to be coming from further up the bridge. So we're just going to move as slowly and methodically as we can. You'll also notice that the voiceover work now, instead of your soldiers from all these different nations all speaking in California American English, they now are speaking in the native languages of the nations that they come from. Other English-speaking nations will now be speaking with accents Australian accents, Irish accents, what have you. It's a nice touch. I like it quite a bit.
Headed there now. Je suis en route.
In every case here, we are looking for cover.
Moving out.
These last two guys are not actually in cover, but given that we know the aliens will be deploying from this area, they ought to be relatively safe for this first couple of turns. Another neat thing that they've added here is you can put everybody on Overwatch all at the same time using the Alt and O. Alright. That yellow line we saw go in earlier means that there is some meld, which is an alien, not artifact, but material that your scientists want you to be picking up. It can, or sometimes it shows up in canisters that you can only get for a certain time period. I am paying absolutely no attention to it whatsoever. It's going to be important for research and development later, but for right this minute, getting some of my troops surviving long enough to get some promotions is more important to me than getting them killed attempting to get that meld. Okay. I'm checking right this minute to see if I can get two of my soldiers up simultaneously to this car. I can.
Bin unterwegs. Aufgepasst. Der Feind rollt.
Here we go. 3 sectoids who previously were no terrifically big threat, but now shoot exceptionally well. They use pretty good tactics. We know that all 3 of these guys are up in this area. We can probably go ahead and utilize the side of this car for cover.
Headed there now.
A general idea about cover in the game is it extends almost to infinity, if you will, along a line where the cover is deploying. So right this minute, this car is actually going to give us cover all the way out to here unless somebody gets inside that line. Certainly these aliens are in a position to do that right this minute. If they do so, the 2 of my soldiers that I have right here, I've got to stop using the term guys since there are both male and female soldiers here. They will be available to take Overwatch fire against anybody that moves within their line of sight.
Headed there now.
Okay, we've got everybody in Overwatch position. We'll see what the aliens decide to do. This alien is doing a mind meld with the one that's further forward. He gets an extra hit point out of it. The alien in the back, previously were you to shoot him, that would kill both of them simultaneously. Instead, this one will be dead, this one will take 2 points of damage. Apparently the rationale behind that is now further on into the game, where I have not gotten yet. Your soldiers can also utilize that same technique, and they want to have your soldiers have the same type of abilities that the aliens do. Okay, we have a solid shield there. That means that is solid cover. We'll move these 2 frontal elements up.
In Bewegung. Alien-Objekt in Sicht.
We're lucky that they determined not to use Overwatch for any of their troops. So as we move, nobody is getting free shots at us. Again, we're trying to keep everybody grouped. Later on in the game, when the aliens have grenades available, that may not work out too well. But for right this minute, I want to make sure that I'm keeping everybody grouped so that we do get that volume of fire on our targets. Again, a mind meld here, keeping this guy in the front up at 4 health. I can't tell if he's getting ready to target someone down here or not. Like I said, this is very, very, very different from the original. I've got a soldier dead within the first couple of rounds of combat. We will place this guy out from his open cover to here. Currently, everybody is in cover. We're going to go ahead and put him on Overwatch. And him on Overwatch. Everybody else is going to go ahead and try and take a shot at this initial alien. We only have a 42% chance to hit. This is why volume of fire becomes important.
That is not good.
You're going to get really used to your initial rookies missing a lot. Okay, we got a 2-point hit there. Let's see if we can score. Nope.
Le tir n'a pas fait mouche.
That power-up is actually giving him basically the equivalent of a 1-point heal. I'm not entirely sure what the third alien up here is doing. Ah, he's using suppressing fire to keep that troop of mine from doing it. Holy smoke. We're down 2 troops, and we've got a panic one back here, which means that they're going to do absolutely nothing useful. We'll go ahead and attempt to do a flanking maneuver on this alien that is suppressing. If we could get a kill, that would mean that the person that is currently suppressed would be able to operate. We didn't even get a hit.
Черт, не может быть.
Moving.
My goodness, we are missing a lot. With them being suppressed, all we'll do is put them on Overwatch and hope for the best.
Incoming fire.
Looks like they're going to be targeting my Overwatcher. Alright, let's see what we got here. We'll move a little further forward in our attempt to flank.
Принято.
We do have a flanking shot open. That's what the yellow targets mean. We can see one with a 76% chance to hit, one with a 34, one with a 64. We'll go ahead and select the 76, and we'll take a shot. That is a kill. We've killed 1 sectoid at the cost of 2 of our troops. Not a stellar performance so far.
Verstanden, Commander. Nächstes Mal kriege ich ihn.
Okay, our previously panicked soldier has recovered. She can move to cover. I'm not crazy about that 42% to hit, but I think I'm going to have to take it.
Je règle mon viseur.
We'll go ahead and move this guy up to solid, gal up to solid cover. We'll put her on Overwatch and hope that somebody makes a dumb maneuver. You'll notice something else that's different from the original XCom. The early aliens are now attempting to use psionic attacks against us. That normally was something that didn't start happening until about halfway through the game. Alright, he stayed in cover and got to move cleanly. I notice we're running a little low on ammo here. Both of these troops are. If we move up here, we will have full cover and we should have a relatively clean shot at this sectoid. We're going to go ahead and try that. One damage. You'll notice the one appearing there in armor. That means that whatever armor the aliens is wearing, or excuse me, are wearing, is deflecting a certain percentage of our
J'y vais
firepower.
tout de suite. Je peux rien faire sans munitions. La cible n'a rien.
We will reload. Actually, we'll put this soldier on Overwatch. We'll reload the one behind. Something that we haven't been able to actually point out real well yet is the fact that instead of all of your soldiers deploying with assault rifles, a couple have come with assault rifles and a couple have actually showed up with something called an assault carbine. The assault carbine is a shorter weapon that gives your soldiers a higher aim stat. Let's see. I'm not seeing the aim stat here. We are getting a penalty from the fallen comrade. The will is down to 10. That is going to mean for that particular soldier that any further psionic attacks or panic checks against him is going to work at higher than we would want it to.
Смена магазина.
Okay, we've got another 57% chance to hit here. And we miss.
That's it. I'm out. That's a load of bull.
Alright, reloaded so we can switch to Overwatch. And this soldier needs to reload.
Help! Someone help!
As I had stated before, the aliens actually have a much higher to hit percent chance than they did in the previous version of the game. That particular soldier is panicking and will not be available for us to use this turn.
J'y vais.
We'll get some elevation here. Elevation does give you a bonus to your to hit percent chance. My goodness.
J'ai raté la cible.
Вас понял.
We'll go for the wounded one, see if we can actually get a kill. There we go.
Готов.
With that kill happening, we will move into position and hope for an Overwatch shot.
Отступаю.
Not sure what the aliens are going to attempt here. Hunkering down, meaning that they are going for a full defensive bonus rather than anything else. We do have some cover here. We'll go ahead and spring forward and use it since the alien is hunkering down rather than being in Overwatch. If the alien was in Overwatch, we never would have tried that because they would have just blown us away as we moved toward it. An 88% chance to hit.
Готов.
Now, here's the bad news. That is one group of 3 sectoids. In this very first mission, back in the old days, when we used to walk through the snow uphill both ways, you had to take out 2 groups of 3 aliens and the mission was considered a success. I have yet to see one of these missions in Long War that had fewer than 4 groups of aliens. You'll notice that we're already down 2 soldiers. The mathematics of this are just not real good for us at this point. we'll go ahead and get everybody kind of grouped back together for now. And we'll attempt to do better as we move forward from here. I believe we have some cover there. We do. We'll go ahead and reload Anatoly. At this point, knowing that the aliens are further ahead of us here, I'm not entirely comfortable moving anywhere that isn't at least 50% cover.
Roger that. Scanning.
Okay, we can move Petra over here, put her into Overwatch, and Naomi. I don't really have a good point to put Naomi in at this point. That does give her some cover. If I do this, it takes both of her moves for the round. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Simply because I'm not happy not having everybody grouped together. The sound waves there emanating point out that we do have additional aliens waiting for us up here in the fog of war. So we'll go ahead and move up here. Not entirely sure what the circular arrows around this object are. I don't seem to be able to do anything with it.
Готовность номер 1.
Excellent. We can now move Rena to the spot that Anatoly just vacated.
Moving to Overwatch.
You're going to spend a lot of time moving these troops up incrementally in Overwatch.
Yeah, en fait, quoi. Je reste en observation.
Okay. Again, partial cover. Rena can take his vacated spot.
Overwatch. Aye, aye.
We have a bit of an issue with Petra here. She cannot get to any cover.
Yeah,
We will leave her where she is for now. We'll do the same with Naomi. Again, we know the aliens are further up here. Aha! A group of 4 of them. Very good. We actually scored for the points on an Overwatch shot. Now that we know that they know we're here, it's going to become very important for us to stick close together and try and use volume of fire to take everybody down, not get spread out the way I did earlier. We'll move Rena down here.
Moving to Overwatch.
I'm going to go ahead and dash Petra up here. While the aliens are in hiding is going to be the best time to do that. And Naomi to here. The suspense here is just an absolute killer. I'm relatively certain that these little sectoids have about a 20% higher chance of taking our troops out than we do of them. Cover doesn't seem to matter, they just shoot exceptionally well. Another mind fray attempt that failed. Now, we have no medkits available to us currently. That means that unless we defeat all of the remaining aliens before she bleeds out, she'll be lost to us as well. So no cover.
Je reste en observation.
Let's see what we got. A 19% chance to hit. I almost never fire on 19%.
Готовность номер 1.
27 I'll take. 2 points with 1 point absorbed by their armor. Or whatever their defensive mechanisms are. We can tell there's a third one back here behind the melt container. There's an excellent chance that I'm going to get this entire team wiped out just to demonstrate how tough the Long War mod is for everybody.
А, молоко!
Feel free to call me any names you like to. So, somebody's panicking,
Ясно.
meaning that they are unavailable to us. Okay, we can flank somebody. Alright.
Счет пустой.
He is gonna kind of be our hero for this whole operation, provided that we survive. He's already gotten 3 out of our 4 kills. I believe we've got 3 sectoids left at this point. Nope, 4. We can tell there's a 4th one back here.
Меня стреляют.
Now, this is where Dr. Valen will call us names, which is why I turned her commentary off. We're gonna drop an anti-personnel grenade right on top of these aliens.
Поберегись!
We've killed one of them. Trooper Kutsanov has earned himself a promotion. Let's hope that he lives long enough to make use of it. We have a high explosive grenade here. The nice thing about the high explosive grenades is that they will remove cover. Very good. I believe we've got 2 hostiles left.
Вытащите меня отсюда!
He is being suppressed, however, that's kind of okay at this point, because if I'm not mistaken, he needed to reload his ammo anyway. Aha! They're going for a flanking maneuver.
Они решили налететь с фланга! Вот так!
We've got a 53% chance to hit here. We've kind of hoping that it hits, because if it doesn't, we're in big trouble. Very good.
Alien neutralisé. Je suis à sec.
Alright.
Тут слишком жарко, потеряли бойца!
If we can find some solid cover, which we can, we will put him into Overwatch. We'll do the same kind of move for Naomi, and then reload her weapon.
On part l'attaque.
Got a 44% chance reaction shot, and unfortunately it's a
Вот
miss.
дерьмо! Прощай!
Good work out there, Strike One.
If I may, Commander, the labs are on high alert. Teams are standing by for your orders. We can begin researching the newly recovered artifacts immediately.
Our results: 10 aliens killed, 4 out of 6 of our XCom operatives lost. Welcome to XCom Long War. The casualty numbers have been staggering so far, and I
Commander to the research lab.
can't imagine that they're going to be anything, that they're going to remain anything but that as we move forward.
Welcome to XCom HQ, Commander. I'm Central Officer Bradford. My role in this project is twofold: providing tactical support for our field operations, and keeping you briefed on the current situation. My efforts should allow you to focus on the bigger issues at hand. Speaking of which, we have a soldier waiting for a promotion in the barracks. I'll let you get to it.
Our good buddy Bradford. He will be the person that will be interacting with you most. You'll also get to see little videos with him.
No one was expecting this. They were some of our best. I wish there was more we could have done.
I wish there was more we could have done too, Bradford. Now, your rookies start off without any particular skills. Once they have gotten a promotion, as our two survivors managed to, they will be assigned to a specific class.
Commander,
There used to be
research
4
labs.
classes.
Commander,
Now there
to the
are
research
8.
labs.
So, Anatoly Kuznetsov, however you pronounce that, will now have 7 health going forward, which will be helpful. He will have lost 1 point of his previously decent 15 move. He can either be a gunner, carrying an extremely heavy-duty squad machine gun, I believe it's called a Law, if I'm not mistaken, or we can make him a rocketeer. He would then get 1 shot out of a handheld rocket RPG that will
Commander to the research
have area of
labs.
effect
Commander
damage
to
just
the
like a
research
grenade,
labs.
and will also blow big holes in buildings, cars, things like that. I'm going to go ahead and allow him to become our gunner. The suppression fire that would be able to hold down enemy troops at this point seems more valuable to me than duplicating the explosive effects that we could already get from a grenade. So, he's now a gunner. You'll notice that previously, if you are an XCOM veteran, you would have, every time you leveled, 2 new abilities to choose from. Now they've added 3. Let's see what we did with Naomi. Looks like
Commander
they're
to the
choosing to
research
make her
labs.
either a
Commander
scout
to the
or a
research
sniper.
labs.
Her aim is actually pretty high already, 72. She'll be going up to 6 health, down to 12 movement. The relatively high aim and the relatively low movement would dictate to me that we do want her in the back with a sniper rifle attempting to
Commander
wreak
to the
havoc
research
from
labs.
an area where she
Commander
isn't
to the
having to move a
research
whole
labs.
lot. You'll also notice that going with sniper did give her 76 aim. We can actually improve on that further because there's a piece of equipment that you can
The
equip
recovered
her
artifacts are being unloaded, and
with
the research team is waiting your
called
orders.
a laser
We'll get
sight.
started as soon as you give the order, Commander.
So we'll visit research and meet Dr. Valen.
Hello, Commander. My name is Dr. Valen. I oversee the research labs. This is where all of XCOM's research and development takes place. We have already begun analyzing the artifacts recovered from our first encounter with the aliens. Based on our preliminary findings, we believe we can use them to develop some new equipment for our soldiers. With your approval, we will begin research immediately.
One of the changes made here is that previously scientists were not terrifically important. You could keep 5 or 10 scientists and just take as long as you wanted to do any kind of research and development
Commander
to come up with
Commander to engineering.
with new gear for your troops. Well, now the aliens are also doing their own research and development, so it's become kind of an arms race. Scientists have now become important. You are going to be having to staff your laboratories. We will go ahead and select xenobiology to get started. After that, we'll probably go with alien weaponry so that we can unlock beam weapons for our troops. You'll notice that now, whereas previously xenobiology would have cost us about 5 or 7 days, it's now going to cost us 18 days worth of research.
Since the complexities of our latest research projects are overwhelming the current staff,
I hope you'll consider seeking out additional scientists to bolster the team.
Ah, Commander. I was wondering when you'd be stopping by. Welcome to engineering. Anything they can dream up in the research labs, we can build it here. Speaking of which, Dr. Valen has just sent us some new schematics. With your approval, we will begin fabrication.
Commander to mission control.
The good news
Commander
is
to mission control.
medkits no longer need to be built. They're just something that you have available to put on your troops. The bad news is you have so many more things to be built that you will frequently be overwhelming your poor engineers. Also, things like a motion tractor, they're no longer going to be built instantly. They're going to be built in 5 days. Now, one thing that is going to be really important are satellites. Satellites cost us 200. We started the game with 600 thanks to our Russian placement.
Commander, our current satellite uplink facilities are at full capacity. We should build additional uplinks as soon as possible to allow for new satellite deployments.
Just like Bradford said, we are going to be needing to pursue uplink facilities as quickly as possible. It's really going to become a balancing act anymore. You can no longer just do the satellite rush that you could in earlier versions of XCOM, where you would just put together your 4 satellite uplinks and instantly have the capability of running 12 satellites. Nope. Each uplink now counts for 1. If you put them next to each other, you get a bonus 1. So 2 satellite uplinks now will give you 3 whole control over 3 whole satellites. We need 10 engineers to build a satellite. It's going to cost us 25 days. We're going to go ahead and submit an order for 1, so at least we'll have 1 available here by the end of the month. By the way, don't do what I had been doing previously.
Commander to mission control.
I would hit manufacture, I would tell it to submit the order,
facilities are at full capacity.
and then I would forget to click manufacture here, which would mean that I thought that I was manufacturing things, but actually I was not.
Commander, our current satellite uplink facilities are at full capacity. We should build additional uplinks as soon as possible to allow for new satellite deployments.
Sorry about that.
Control.
Power is going to become pretty important. The best places to get power from are, of course, the steam vents. If you put... Well, let me show you the actual thing. A thermo generator over the top of a steam vent, you'll get 25 additional power for your base. However, in our case, we're not going to be able to even get access to those until we have dug all the way down to this 4th level. What we're going to have to do for right now is we're going to have to excavate.
Commander to mission control.
When that excavation is done in 5 days, we'll go ahead and put a, let's see, I believe it's a fission generator in that will give us 8 extra power. It's not nearly as much as the thermo, but we're going to need the power. Okay. I keep hearing the paging system going off, complaining about me not hitting mission control. We'll go visit mission control, take a look around, and back out, so that they will stop paging us to mission control at this point. Last thing I want to, well, we do need to look at the situation.
Every member of the council is going to want satellite coverage, so we should plan our deployments carefully.
Your interceptors that you have will cover an entire continent. You do not need a new interceptor for every country that you have satellite coverage over. I'm given to understand that you can actually place interceptors in a country that doesn't even have satellites yet, and there is a chance that they will be able to intercept UFOs that appear over that particular country. Speaking of interceptors, we'll go to the hangar. We'll view our aircraft list. Right this minute, everybody has the standard avalanche missiles. However, you have a Stingray missile available now, which is actually a shorter ranged armor-piercing missile, which becomes important against certain UFOs. I generally will equip 2 ships with the Stingray missiles. You also want to get into the ship and rename each of them. This will give the ship a pilot's call sign, and as the interceptor goes out and engages aliens, that person will begin gaining experience. Experience, obviously, is a good thing. Lost track of what I was doing there for a second. Okay. Alrighty. So, this is what we've got coming up. In 18 days, we will be finishing up our research on xenobiology. In 25 days, our first satellite will be completed, though we won't have a uplink to attach it to yet. In 31 days, our first council report will be due. We've already lost 2 out of our initial 40 soldiers. The other 2 are fatigued currently. You can send out a fatigued soldier. However, if you do, no matter what happens during the combat, they will get injured at the end of that combat, forcing you to not utilize them after that. You can also visit your departed troops. Everybody died thanks to plasma pistols from sectoids. And if that bagpipe doesn't make you feel maudlin and depressed, I don't know what will. Very good. We've reached the end of our first recording for XCom's Enemy Within Long War. I hope you all didn't find it too absolutely depressing and intimidating as I have. And we will be continuing on with additional recordings of this as we go forward. Again, this is the Iron Man version. I will not be able to go back and correct any mistakes I might have made, so you'll be able to watch as I attempt to move forward and make some sense out of this absolutely chaotic and deadly mod for XCOM Enemy Within. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you again next time.